Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to talk about Akainu reveals that all admirals have two fruits. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. But pirates, before we continue with the video, I ask that you already subscribe to our channel. That way you will join our pirate crew and earn a devil fruit or master your favorite haki. It would also help our crew a lot if you leave your thumbs up on today's video, so together we can become Yonkos. Now let's continue with today's video. Certainly, one of the most curious characters in One Piece is Vegapunk. Not just because he is a genius beyond his time, but because he has been able to do amazing tests and discover things that would change the world of pirates forever. His experiments were never really explored on screen, and neither was the character, but couldn't he have been showing what he was made of all this time? Not just with Serafine, his most recent production, but something involving the Marine itself in the middle. Let's talk a bit about this character today and the expectations for his future projects. Dr. Vegapunk is the Marine's chief scientist. His work includes the discovery of the secrets and uses of Kairoseki, the secrets of how the powers of devil fruit work, the co-discovery of the lineage factor and its applications, and various other scientific achievements that are at least 500 years ahead of current technology. He was born on Karakuri Island, a technologically advanced island. Before being employed by the world government, Vegapunk was part of an illegal research group known as MADS, where he worked alongside other notable scientists such as Veen Smoke Judge and Queen, before being arrested and then integrated into the Marine. Despite his great influence on the story, Vegapunk has yet to make a personal appearance in the One Piece storyline. In his youth, Vegapunk was a generous person who took great care of the inhabitants of his island, willing to help them with his inventions. He is considered the pride and joy of the island, and the residents still await his return. Unlike his former scientist colleague Caesar Clown, Vegapunk was much more moral about what he would do in pursuit of achievement. He refused to involve children in the gigantification process, despite his repeated failures. He also vetoed the creation or release of the H2's poison gas weapon, for fear that it would harm innocent people. He seems to have an interest in dragons, as he created two of them in Pink Hazard, and an artificial devil fruit that allows the user to transform into one. He seems to be honorable, as he granted Kuma his last wish as a human being, which was to program him to protect Thousand Sunny until the return of the Straw Hats. Vegapunk is famous as the greatest scientific genius the world has ever known, having tremendous knowledge and unparalleled understanding in all fields of science, from cell biology to military technology, as noted by Frankie. His scientific expertise is said to be at least 500 years ahead of his time. It seems that even in his youth, the scientist was a prodigy already considered a genius, but lacked the skills, resources, and materials to develop his inventions, although this did not prevent him from theorizing the creation of the pacifist cyborgs, including their laser weapons. This is proven by the fact that Frankie was able to recreate the technologies by single-handedly studying the plants that Vegapunk left on his home island. Apart from this, the creations and projects he left behind are considered priceless, and any damage inflicted on them is considered a crime. Through his research, he discovered ways to allow marine ships to pass through the calm belts without fear of an attack from the kings of the seas by covering the ship's hulls with Kairoseki. He also discovered exactly how the powers of devil fruit are transferred to a user, and was the scientist behind the method of granting devil fruit powers to inanimate objects such as swords and weapons. He was the one who turned Bartholomew Kuma into a cyborg, and produced many replicas of him in pacifistas, granting them some of Kizaru's devil fruit abilities in the process. These replicas bleed real blood. However, they do not have Kuma's devil fruit abilities. After the 2-year time skip, Sentomaru revealed that the last pacifista had been modified, but these units have yet to be seen. The lasers installed in the pacifistas were apparently so advanced that only Vegapunk knew how to create them. It has also been stated that the dragons found in Pink Hazard were Vegapunk's own creations. He also appears to be physically strong, as he was able to survive Caesar Clown's weapon of mass destruction by being in the core of the explosion. Considering Vegapunk's abilities to work for the Marine, receiving all the necessary conditions for his studies, and his grandiose genius, it would be possible for him to do several things. One of the most absurd was seeing the Serafine Seraphim, beings that are practically literal copies of the ancient Shichibukai, having the appearance of these characters when they were still children. Thanks to this research, by recreating them, they were able to control miniature Shichibukai with a slight change in their appearance, making them very powerful. Thanks to this, we realized that Vegapunk is not only a genius, but also quite a perfectionism, as he put details on the Seraphim such as Hancock's earrings that were not necessarily important, but he considered them ideal. Yes, as someone who has worked for many years with research not only into the geology of the world, but also being responsible for most of the discoveries regarding the Akumas no Mi, it is a fact that he may be involved in other grandiose projects, something perhaps that could make the Marine even more powerful with its special members, considering that now Yonkou was clearly against them, having declared war on the world government years ago, and now with the presence of the revolutionaries stronger than ever. And now we can get to the big question. What else has Vegapunk been practicing and experimenting on over so many years? Why not expect an experiment created and modified on more humans, but focusing especially on what he has been recognized for? Yes, we are talking about possible creations made with Akumas no Mi, but not just the creation of these fruits from scratch, the famous artificial ones, but something that directly involves those who have already consumed one and hope to become even more powerful in order to clash with the revolutionaries who insist on causing discord, as well as the pirates who more than ever are turning against them in a critical situation. And it is then that we find out about another experiment that has long been tested, but has only recently come to its conclusion. This could be revealed in a dialogue in advance, as was the case with the Seraphim, although we did not see them or find out exactly what they were early on. Here we would enter a new era not only of pirates, but of the Marine itself. During what could be the beginning of the Great War, the Admirals would go to those who rebelled against them to fight, showing their power and commanding respect, but finally putting them in the place they deserve to be. More than that, knowing that they would never surrender this time, the group realizes that they cannot back down or allow things to continue in that way. Ahead of the fight between Akainu and probably the Revolutionary Army itself, we would have a rather interesting dialogue about Vegapunk. Maybe while we still had frames with the Seraphim facing some other characters, maybe their own originals, and about how much this scientist's work really is 500 years ahead, that he is really too great for this world, yet being by his side, you can always be assured that you could win. And then, as he speaks like this, with his fists in magma, suddenly something different happens. We could have a physical change in Akainu, or perhaps a rather strange change in his powers. The fact is that suddenly the powers of his devil fruit have changed or merged with something else. We are talking about research in which the Admirals would become capable of consuming two fruits, just like Teach. For this to be possible, not only a study on Blackbeard's devil fruit would be done, but several tests on devil fruit carriers. In this way, knowing how the fruit bonds to the body of the one who consumed it, he might be able to work around the natural inability to consume two of them, thus giving the characters even more power when they consume a second fruit, maybe an artificial one, maybe a normal one. Importantly, the Admirals, who were previously underestimated for running scared of Yonkus, would become infinitely more powerful and threatening this way, and might even have their bounties increased by the Cross Guild. And this factor, as well as the Seraphim, would become another reason for the pirates and other characters to rebel against the Marine, making forbidden and incorrect experiments only for the pursuit of power and order according to their own worldview. How would this clash play out? Could Vegapunk finally show himself as also one of his experiments? Perhaps he is much more powerful than we first thought. Would the pirates be able to stand up to these now much more powerful characters? How far would Vegapunk be able to go with his experiments? Let us know what you think. That's it, my Straw Hat Pirate. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I'll be reading them all as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your pirate crew.